Maybe the real killer is the friends we made along the way.
I mean, ideally, yes.
Or Kunanen.
All right, I need to put this down somewhere. There we go. Okay. So, is everybody all situated and everything?
Yep, we're good over here.
Good.
Okay, then I will start. Okay, so when last we left off in the middle of the frozen mountains of Ithora, north of Vasselheim, the party had found the Well of the Tears of Iyun. They've been looking for that, of course, for two reasons: trying to find one, a reagent for constructing a magical item that might help should the Chained Oblivion manage to escape his prison, and then two, trying to cleanse Crom's connection to the entity named Riz, who is somehow connected to her sword. Upon getting there, Crom was pulled in to the well and, sinking deep down, went through a rather interesting experience. And upon coming out, found that through that experience, she had gained some wisdom, but lost her left arm. And that's where we're going to pick up. So, Crom, as you fell down onto the ground, stop levitating, and your friends rush up to you, you find that while you felt okay rising up out of the well, the moment your feet hit the ground, you feel exhausted. And in fact, you're suffering from 3 points of exhaustion.
Okay, yeah, I see it.
Okay, so what would y'all like to do?
Where y'all gonna sit?
Crom is molting.
What's happening?
Molting.
Crom is molting.
Crom is molting. Yes. Something like that.
Crom, correct me if I'm wrong, but Goliaths don't regenerate limbs. Is that correct? Or I don't know that much about Goliath biology.
I don't know. It's my first time losing the arm. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. And I wiggle it around. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Yeah, it will. It's just a little stump. It goes like this.
Taylor will kind of.
What was that?
What?
Sorry, I couldn't hear the beginning of that.
Said Pelor's gonna cock his head and he will make no promises, but he is going to try to cure wounds on the stump.
Okay, go ahead. Cast Cure Wounds.
17 plus 9 is 25? No, 26?
Okay. Wow. So Crom, as your lizard friend concentrates on his hands and kind of extends them towards you, you feel this wave of energy wash over, kind of refreshing you. You still feel quite tired, and looking down at your arm, it's still a stump.
Well, like I said, no promises. Pelor wants it. Pelor gets it.
Thank you for trying.
I'd like to see any of you try to put the arm back.
Oh, that arm's gone.
That's fair. All right. I'm going to try to do something here.
So are we're still around the pool of Ioun?
Yes, you are still around the Tears of Ioun here. The guardian priest who had started to kind of bow down when Crom had levitated out of the pool are starting to get back up on their feet now, and they're kind of holding back, looking at you.
Do many people go into the water? Guardians of the pool. Is this do you get this a lot?
I believe it is forbidden.
The guardians just kind of look at you. Sorry, I'm having a lot of trouble hearing today for some reason.
Can you hear? How's ours? We have kind of a new setup, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little echoey, but in general, I'm just having trouble hearing. I might need to switch out something. Oh, here we go. I'm going to try this instead.
Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Suddenly I can hear you better too.
Yeah, we can hear.
All right, cool. All right. So, what are we doing? Sorry, I lost the thread there. Okay, sorry. What are we doing? I lost the thread there.
Okay, so we need to make sure that we get some of the pool water in the flask, right? Don't we have a flask or something? Guys.
I imagine you probably have a small flask. One of you has a small flask, yeah.
I have several water skins that I've been using as hot water bottles, and you're more than welcome to one of them.
Okay, I'm not touching the water though, guys. I only have one arm also, so.
Okay.
Gosh, Crom, we know.
I only have one arm, you guys. Can you give me a hand?
I'll do it. I'll fill one of my water skins up. I've got one. And
Okay. So reaching down to go for it. Sorry.
no, I was just going to say, Crom's obviously suspect due to their demon sword thing, and I don't feel like I have anything that would make a lake angry, so I'll do it.
Okay. So reaching down, you grab a good amount of water into one of your water skins, filling it up, capping it off, and nothing seems to happen.
That was all you needed to do.
Make it look so easy.
All right. In any case. So, moving on. The one of the priests, the one that first kind of challenged you, coming up, kind of walks up hesitantly with the other three behind him, and says, "That was." Looks over to you, Crom, and says, "That was interesting. What happened?"
Okay, so Crom is gonna like retell it, like really excited and little kid-like way, and then whip out the big fucking sword. That's awesome and cool now.
All right, as you all hear this tale of sinking down in the water and this confrontation between the demon and Ioun and Crom, and it's pretty amazing sounding. And as she holds up the sword, you see it's the same sword, the same shape and size, but it looks different somehow. It seems to almost shine a little bit. It looks friendly.
Since he's over by the water, Zepiel wants to just look down to see if he can see the arm in the bottom of the lake.
Okay. Make a perception check.
17 plus 5 is 22.
Okay. I mean, this water is clear. And looking down, you can see a long way down as it's a fairly wide well. But even then, the bottom just disappears into blackness. Maybe, as far as you can see, 60, 70 feet down.
Okay. Don't see any arms, huh?
No, you do not see any arms, just an endless, bottomless well, it seems.
Fair.
Yes.
So, well, I guess, mission accomplished. We did it!
Let us leave before the lake wants any more body parts.
So, I guess we need to go back and collect my automaton buddy and get back to the place with the things.
Indeed.
Let's, go.
Or we can build
this one.
shackles.
Yeah, build the shackles.
Well, actually, you don't have all the parts to the shackles yet.
I think we need like some dragon stuff. Dragon poop.
No, scales.
Oh.
Scales, and I think there might have been like a couple more items. I don't. Somebody's got a list, right?
I think those people died.
Whoa.
The people that the list died. I don't want to keep the list. Yeah.
Thinking back, you can remember that you have the crystal, now you have the Tears of Ioun. You have also one green dragon scale from battling that green dragon.
You need a blue one?
Yeah. You need blue, black, white, and red.
Oh no.
I'll keep it.
You got a ways to go. And also, for that matter, you are in need of a piece of webbing from the demon web pits.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Zepiel did not know this was a suicide mission when they joined you.
No. You don't have to kill yourself. We do it.
All right then. You have a ways to go, but first, where would you like to go right now?
Where?
Teleport to what? Dog?
No, we need to get get our stuff from the room.
Yeah. The give me that notebook.
Of these things, what do you think we could most likely accomplish?
I
mean, that's up to you, really. You've kind of knocked out the easy ones, and now you're getting into the harder ones. You do have a list of known living chromatic dragons, I believe.
We could ask the caretakers if they know of an interest in the area.
Wait, we have a list of them.
Of what?
of the known chromatic dragons?
Yeah, I think in a book.
Who has that book?
Is there
Surface?
any of those nearby? Like, not nearby, but the closest?
Because Cirthus, I believe you had the list. Let me see. Let me look at the list real quick. Where did I put? There it is. So it was the list that you had copied from the Chromatic Dragon Compendium, which you had tried to borrow from the Beholder. But there was one dragon listed on the continent you are currently on, which is Isilra. The dragon is known as Oanad the Voiceless, and is a red dragon, and was last seen, according to this book, which is a few decades old, in the Far Reach Peaks, which is south of you on the continent.
You know what I am to be thinking?
What's that?
You know who would probably have pretty good, accurate, current information on these big old beasties? The Slayer's Take.
Slayer's Take!
Slayer's Take that we just left. They would probably have been able to say, yeah, we've seen that one in this place. It's maybe just something for us to consider to go back to. Or we can just try to irritate a dragon.
Well, our stuff is also there too.
Yeah, and
They might know where to get some of that webbing too.
the metal one, my metal child.
Maybe they have all the scales all right there, and we could just take it.
Yeah. No. Probably not.
Maybe there's a bounty on one that they would like to go in on us with. We can, get some help.
Yeah, that sounds
It's
good.
an idea.
Yeah. I wrote yes. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go talk to the Slayers.
There.
Okay.
Does anyone know if dragons shed scales?
That is a good point.
Somebody that is proficient in nature, please make a check. Is anybody proficient in nature?
Crom is.
I mean, I'm not like super good at it.
But you're proficient?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do it.
Ooh, I got a natural 20.
All right.
Plus 3.
Plus 3, so 23. You living in the mountains and in the wilderness for a lot of your life, you needed to know things about dangerous beings and monsters and animals. And you did hear tales of people finding dragon scales at different places in the mountain. So they do shed scales from time to time, at a much slower rate than maybe snakes or other animals like that, and not in the same way. Like, they don't shed them all at once, but much like feathers, they sometimes come off and a new one grows in.
Awesome. So yeah, they do that. But yeah, let's I guess head to the Slayers and then talk to them and see what's what.
Okay. So,
if we're doing that before we leave, I would like to leave some pamphlets with these guys and girls.
Okay. Walking up to the 4 different guardians here in their heavy blue cloaks and their helmets, they kind of give you a odd look as you hand them these pamphlets and slowly open them.
I mean, it's up north. There's long nights in the cold. You might want something to read. And, keep your options open.
The one says, "Thank you. We'll file this for reference."
That is all I ask.
All right. So, heading back out, it took you 2 days to get up here. However, Crom, you are suffering from 3 points of exhaustion right now. And it is late afternoon right now. Did you all want to head out and get a little bit of traveling in?
I have a potion of vitality I've been hanging on to.
Oh, that's right.
What does that do?
It removes any exhaustion I'm suffering and cures any diseases or poisons. And then I regain maximum number of hit points for 24 hours. So,
Sweet.
I'm gonna take that.
Okay. Opening up this vial with the stopper on the top, you kind of sniff it first, and it's very pungent of different herbs, as well as this kind of acrid, almost acidic smell. And as you kind of stir it around and then chug it down, it's I mean, it definitely removes the exhaustion and gives you just this feeling of like you take a deep breath and you feel very alive. Once again, you're almost having to get your balance back a bit as you kind of start walking around, as without your left arm there, it's like as you go up to a column on the kind of little rotunda here, you think to put out your hand to steady yourself, and there's no hand there, and it's a little tough.
Chomp, can you make me an arm?
Can I make you an arm?
A robot arm? Middleman arms? Maybe?
I mean, it wouldn't be. I could try. I built this Arcana mechanical armor, and
Okay.
I've got a. I mean, what's a robot? What are you talking about?
I don't know. I thought it was cool.
Robot.
Never mind.
All right, but heading out with your exhaustion gone, you're able to get a few miles in before the sun starts to set here, and the wind starts to pick up. It's once again fairly cold out. Zippo, but long before it gets to night, you are once again very cold, as you used up one of your hot water bottles to hold a bunch of the Tears of Ioun.
This is a sacrifice that will be respected by the sun, and we must sacrifice to. It is part of life.
Yeah, and I think that we're probably gonna go south, so it'll probably be warmer, maybe.
Yeah.
Next.
Well, I mean, slightly less frozy because it is still pretty piss ass cold, but yes.
I mean, true. So, as the first night and getting a few miles in, are you setting up camp, or would you like to push through the night?
How much traveling do we have to do?
It took you about 2 days to get here from Vasselheim and the Slayer's Take. So it would you have the better part of a day and a half of travel left.
We might as well set up camp then.
I don't think much would be gained by going all through the night.
Okay. Setting up the dough and everything. Keep an eye out. I mean, not a lot.
A camp then.
Yes, a camp. Setting up the dome, keeping an eye out. You don't see a lot going on that night, and getting up in the morning, once again, as the dome goes away, the frost kind of showers over you, waking you up very well. For the rest of this day, does anybody want to keep a lookout?
I will.
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Not a survival check.
No, you're it's easy enough to find your way. You found your way up here.
All right.
Finding your way back is easy enough.
15 plus 5 is a 20.
Okay. Over the course of the day, it's fairly quiet. At one point, once again, you see that same smoke you saw, or you think the same smoke you saw coming up. You see off to the west. Once again, it's a ways off, but other than that, you don't see much.
Are we going to talk about the smoke off in the distance there, fellas? Is that something we should maybe put on a to-do list?
Isn't that the golem thing that we fought? Isn't it burnt down?
Yeah, is that the village that we burned down? I mean, that got burned down?
Or no?
Was. Never assign blame.
Make a survival check to see if you can ascertain where it is in reference to all the places you've been around here.
Is it a lot of smoke?
I mean, look at it. It's a good amount of smoke.
17? I got a 17 survival.
24?
Okay. Kind of talking with each other and where you've been, you get the feeling that it's not the place where you battled the elementals. It's somewhere a bit more north and even further west than that.
And you said it's like off a distance, right?
Like it's off in the distance. Like you can't quite even see where it's coming from on the ground because of the haze and things like that in the mountains.
Definitely not close enough that there'd be like any smells coming in on the wind.
Oh no. This is a good 20, 30 miles away.
Then I got that lizard tongue thing that I do where you can like taste the air.
Okay.
Just saying. No, I was just asking. It's
a ways off, and the wind is not blowing the smoke towards you, so unfortunately, yeah. But over the course of this day, you don't see much else. Bedding down again for the night, and then getting up in the morning. It's only about a half day's travel before you are back in Vasselheim. And
Tim, I just texted you.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So, let me see here. Yes. Coming back in to the city of Vasselheim through the way you came out, once again through the Dusk Meadow, you see the city much as you had seen it before. The Dusk Meadow kind of somber, not sad, but quiet, definitely. And moving back down into the rest of the city, into the quad roads, it starts to liven up a bit. You start to see a lot more people moving around. The streets get more kind of muddy rather than frozen over as they were outside of the city. And you eventually find your way through a couple of the rings out to the first ring where the Slayer's Take is located. And coming up into the doors about early afternoon, there's that same halfling you had met earlier, named, oh, my brain's not working.
Interesting halfling name.
Yeah, it's Merton. Merton Sindriel, who was Vanessa's husband, with his red hair with a little bit of gray at the temples, says to you, hey, it's good to see you again. You all just stopping by, or are you going to be staying?
This is at the Slayer's Take?
Yes.
We're, I guess we're here, we need to talk to, need some guidance or some suggestions from, maybe Vanessa or Maddie.
Right, of course. Come on in. And he kind of walks in before you into the grand hall of the Slayer's Take. You find Vanessa reading on one of the small sofas. She welcomes you, kind of gestures you over, and says, "Sit, please." How did it go? And then she looks over at Crom and says, "Oh my. All right."
I'm missing an arm.
I noticed. In any case, you seem well otherwise.
Yeah, she's fine otherwise.
And did you get what you needed?
Fuck yeah, we did. And then some.
And then some.
And then some.
Well, that's good to hear. So, Merton. Merton was telling me guidance. What are you looking for guidance on?
We need to find dragon scales and some, what was it? Webbing.
Spider
something.
The demon web from walls.
Yes.
Pretty normal stuff. Pretty cash.
I mean, dragon scale can be hard to find. Although, and she kind of gets up, thinks for a second, stops, and then kind of says 1 minute and rushes back over behind the kind of welcome counter in here. Comes back with a ledger, it looks like, and starts flipping through it. No, not here. No. All right, yes. We get a lot of contracts in here, and a lot of them come from different municipalities and things in northern Islara. There has been a report of a dragon. Not too far from here. I mean, a few days' travel, anyway. And there is a bounty, quite large. It looks like 500 platinum.
How long ago was this bounty posted?
Maybe a week, it looks like. It was first posted and reported.
So there's a pretty good chance that the dragon is still in the area then?
I mean, it's possible. It doesn't give us... We were not given a lot of particulars on this one. Just that it is, according to this, the few survivors said it was a red dragon. And several small villages have been burned and eaten, as dragons are wont to do. I mean, would you be interested?
This is a bounty to kill the dragon. Generally.
I mean, if you can chase it off in some way, I'm sure that would be acceptable. But
Yeah.
Did it say what breed of the dragon?
it was a fire breather, so we're assuming red.
Red. Yeah.
That's the kind we need.
We don't have an age or anything like that on it.
Do we know where maybe it's bedding down, or are there survivors?
I mean, let me see. Looking at the different villages that have been burned, I can see that in the center of this there is an old dwarven outpost, a mining outpost. It may have bedded down there in the mountain.
Shall we check out that area first?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dwarven outpost.
Yes, dwarven, a small dwarven. I mean, small for as dwarves go. It was abandoned about 200 years ago. Rimudun Mountain. It's an interesting place. Quite a bit of mining went on there, as well as there was a large forge. However, the mines kind of petered out, and they moved on.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty dragony place. Dragons dig that kind of stuff.
Yep.
I will take your word for it.
Well, in any case, it's about 3-4 days travel west, northwest, I suppose.
Do you have any, perhaps, this one had wanted, I'm going to point to Crom, a big old crossbow. Probably maybe out of, not so useful now, but anything that would help against the dragons? Maybe the little heavy firepower?
I mean, just looking at the 5 of you, it seems... I don't know there's much we could do for you. Of course, this being a fire-breathing dragon, you might want to look into something to mitigate that. Burning to death, I hear, not the way to go. I don't think we have anything for that here, though.
Question, Tim, about my sword. I can still use it because I know it's two-handed.
It is a two-handed sword, and I was thinking about this.
One of us will give you the other hand. It'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. Just stand behind me and, yeah. It'll be fine.
Chomp can ride on your shoulders and be your left arm.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna Voltron this.
Yeah. Voltron.
I was thinking more like Master Blaster, but yeah.
You could also just like Dark Souls everything and like fall down with your sword from a height.
Oh, and like insert it and then it's my arm? Wait, what?
No, just like ride your sword down from a height like a pogo stick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
That will be pretty specific, I think, encounters, but
so that's pretty good. Just looking at without another hand, like you can benefit from some of the benefits and magical benefits of the sword as long as you're carrying it, but you would not be able to wield it as a weapon.
here is my small crossbow.
Well, and you had bought a heavy crossbow before. leaving, but you'll get one shot off, and then it might be hard to reload with one hand.
What? Okay, what if we were to like mount the crossbow on your back, and then you like lean forward, and one of us used you as like a crossbow? We fired it from your back, and then we reloaded it for you.
Okay.
Is that just crazy?
Yeah.
We could
I
probably
like it.
make a harness.
Sure. Get to work, tinkerers.
Indeed.
Well, I guess we'll figure it out. We got a long journey to think about it.
I mean, we're definitely going to be researching or brainstorming or designing some sort of tinker prosthetic
Auto mail?
auto mail, something.
Full metal alchemist.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Speaking
Yeah,
of
just put it off of your.
Or this automaton thing we have could be a donor.
Can I get inside of it?
you will not take apart my metal child.
It would just be a loner.
No.
Or at least get some design ideas.
Yeah.
Like study its arm
Mm-hmm.
and figure out how the parts go together and copy it.
Okay.
Okay. Also a question.
Right.
I currently have the tears. Do we want to? Would I like lean in on? I guess should and whisper. Do we want to leave them here? Maybe we could have the metal child hold them, and that way, I mean, no one's going to pry them out, right? Or should we just walk across the whole planet with them? Also an option.
I mean, true. Yeah, that's up to you all.
I feel like we went there through a lot to get them, and it would be a very if something were to happen to them on our travels. But I leave it up to you.
I mean, won't it just, will it work with, like, shoveling hot coals into it? Like, how does it, did y'all figure out how it works?
Heat source.
Where do you put it?
You put it in its
Butt.
chest. No, in its chest. Yeah.
Chest.
I woke it up with the power of Palor last time, and I can just keep tapping him on the heart. Just every couple seconds, I guess.
would a regular heat source work? No?
I mean,
Like,
You haven't tried.
Maybe. What? Okay. What if we took him and the dragon cast its mighty breath on the metal child and heated him and warmed him up forever?
and he'll be a real boy.
Then he would be my real child.
he's got no strings.
What would you all like to do?
Okay, so we should just go ahead and figure this one out. I guess who would have this? They might have it at the Slayer's Take, but any kind of blacksmith or somebody with a forge, anywhere that would have like coal, because I feel like a fireplace like wood is not going to be enough, but someplace gotta have like coal.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Probably.
yeah. I mean, you've passed several blacksmiths or the like on just onto your walk through town this afternoon.
Yeah, so where would be the nearest place I think I could just scrounge up, like, a piece of coal just as a tender piece?
I mean, you could find one easy enough, probably just a couple blocks down.
Yeah. Let's just go walk and grab up a little chunk of coal
Might as well try.
and see what happens.
So walking down, you find a blacksmith place, a nice little shop. They say, sure, you can have some coal. It'll be a silver.
Cool. Yeah.
This
Here you go.
And they say, all right, and they give you a good sized chunk of coal, like size of a grapefruit or so. And yes, you now have a piece of coal.
All right.
We have solved your heating puzzle.
So we take it back to the our storage place at the Slayer's Take, and drop it in and light her up.
All right. So bringing it back. Okay. So it's a good sized piece of coal. And using the kind of fireplace in the room, the kind of suite that you were provided, you're able to get it nice and glowing and actually caught. Using kind of the tongs from the set, you carefully pick it up and place it into the chest piece. And as you do, you see that the chest piece starts to glow a little bit and kind of closes a bit around the coal, and the automaton's head just kind of comes up, and it looks around at all of you.
Hello, my beautiful child. This is your elder. And these ones are not as important as you are.
Okay. As you speak to it, the automaton kind of from a sitting position puts its hands down and starts to push itself up into a standing position, and almost gets up before it kind of falls back down, and then is kind of looking at itself and tries to again. It doesn't seem to have quite enough power to get itself to a standing position.
I'll tap it with the Sacred Flame, like I did last time.
Okay. As the Sacred Flame, yeah. What's the damage on that?
12 plus 9, 21.
Wow. Okay. As the Sacred Flame kind of absorbs into the coal, it starts burning much whiter, like this white hot heat starts, and you can start feeling it from a few feet away. And immediately the automaton gets up and is just standing there, kind of hands and arms at the side, looking at the five of you. What would you like to do?
We need to name him.
Well, we should see if he already has a name. Does it speak?
As you're speaking, the automaton just follows, like the head follows and looks at whatever person is speaking. The eyes are interesting. They're kind of these metal irises that it seems to like go out and kind of whir as it focuses on different things. And in the middle of the irises, there's these two green gems that you assume it's somehow seeing through.
I address it directly and say, automaton, what is your designation?
And it kind of cocks its head at you like a dog that would.
It is
And
only
it-
a metal trap.
And it doesn't say anything to you.
He is only new hatched. He cannot speak yet.
Ah.
Metal
Well,
child.
I ask it if it knows what normally powers its body.
Okay. As you ask it and it looks over at you as it does, as you get done speaking, it glances around the room and it notices the spell book at Chomp's side that's kind of wrapped in leather straps and belt and like attached to his belt, and kind of points over and touches the edge of it at your spell book.
Powered by books.
Needed books.
Somehow this automaton gives you a look like what but shakes its head and then says, it doesn't say anything, but once again just taps on the book and kind of makes an odd kind of almost explosion kind of motion with its hands.
Ah, yes, the universal gesture for magic.
There you go. It puts one hand to its nose and points at you as you say that.
All right. Magic. So.
Don't look at the barbarian.
Around this time, the coal has started to, the white heat has started to fade into a more red, and as it does, you see the knees of the automaton start to kind of jiggle a little bit, and it falls back onto its backside.
I'll tap it with a Sacred Flame again because I don't think we're done here.
Okay, go for it.
Nat 20 plus 9. I'm so glad that I'm using all my good rolls.
Immediately, it just like stands right back up without having to even push itself up. It's just back on its feet.
My best guess is our research. We need to find
Well, maybe
books about stuff.
maybe
I mean,
You had bought that book about advancements in artificing, and there was a section on automatons as well as prosthetic limbs.
oh well, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna be reading that.
Can I ask you a question?
Me?
Can I ask the Metal Child a question?
Oh, yes.
All right. So Zepil turns to the Metal Child and he says, "Metal Child, if the answer is yes, please raise your right hand. If it is no, please raise your left hand. Do you know if you were created in this city?"
Okay. The automaton raises their right hand. So that's a yes.
Would you be able? Do you know how long ago that was?
The automaton raises their right hand.
Is it in these warm bloods lifespans that you were created?
The automaton raises their left hand.
Were you asleep a long time, Metal Child?
The automaton cocks its head at you as you say this, kind of looks up towards the ceiling, and then raises both arms.
He needs the sun.
Yes, that's obviously what it meant. Yeah.
Zepil knows.
Zepil knows these things.
Does any of the group have any questions? I feel like this is something that might be useful, like this line of questioning, but I'm kind of like...
I'm gonna be reading my book.
you're gonna look up
Yeah,
how automatons work.
Yeah, I want to flip to the chapter on powering automatons.
Okay. So you go ahead and start reading. Sean, you got anything?
Yeah, I think we discussed this earlier, but I think if we could get a piece of those crystals that we got before and we know the location, might be the best source. I don't know. Refer to the book on that, I guess.
Metal Child, do you know who created you?
All right. The automaton looks back at you as you say this and raises their right hand.
Do you know what purpose they had for creating you?
It raises its right hand.
Would you be able to tell us this purpose?
rather than raise a hand, it starts to look about the room, looks over at kind of the little writing desk that's over. It doesn't look like it gets used a lot in here, but it does have a little inkwell and a quill and some paper which says on the top the Slayer's Take. And walks over and starts writing. And yes, let me think here what it would be writing. It starts to write out what looks like whole sentences, and you recognize the alphabet it's using as that of the same that's used for common, but it doesn't seem like the language is common.
Is it?
Does anybody recognize it? Or I guess I don't know. I'm reading my book.
Yeah, you're in your book.
Recognize it?
Go make a history check.
I'll start to
18
ritual cast
plus
comprehend
4
languages.
is
Cool.
22.
22.
Guys, I'm going to be all burned out of good rolls if we find this the baddies later.
That's great. So looking at this and kind of catching a few words and trying to sound them out, you realize that it sounds like someone you once met. Yes, I did hear you, Sean.
Okay.
It sounds like some people you once ran into from the northern parts of the Dwendalian Empire of Wildmount. Specifically, the northern part, which is called Zemnia. So this is Zemnian, it seems like.
Is he still writing, or did he just stop with that one sentence?
Well, he wrote one sentence, put a period at the end, and then put the quill back in, and then stood up straight and is looking at you expectantly.
That is a good job, Metal Child. I'm so proud of your penmanship.
And it is fairly nice. It's this kind of flowing cursive. But waiting those 10 minutes as Chomp is reading and Crom is doing, I don't know what Crom's doing actually. But Sean, you cast. What was that?
I'm playing with my stump.
Okay.
I'm just like, yeah.
Fingering your stump?
No, wait. No, I'm just getting used to it. I'm just getting used to it.
You're getting used to the stump, and as you're kind of sitting there, getting used to not having the arm there, you hear this kind of like this poof sound, and suddenly the Marlon Bundo is on your leg, as he was in your bag, but is now kind of teleported out to your leg and is smelling the stump.
Oh, I promise I didn't forget about you, buddy.
And he looks up at you like, "Oh, I know you didn't." He survived, though. That's what matters. But as 10 minutes go by, Sean, let me see something. Because I need the whole name of this person. Okay, as you finish casting Comprehend Languages, looking down, it's almost as if, not like that it changes into common suddenly, but it's almost as if you feel you can hear the words in the original language and know what they mean. And as you read it to yourself, it seems to say, I was created by Halas Lutagran. And that's the sentence.
No. Did he also ask what he was created for?
Oh yeah, he did. That's right. Okay, so in that case, he wrote a second sentence. We'll say. I forgot about that. And it says, "I was created to. I was created to be. Sorry. I was created to serve."
Okay. I will relay that.
Okay.
You
You all hear this, that the automaton was created by Halas Lutigran, and he was created to serve.
Should we ask him who this person was? This personage?
I mean, you can.
I will. Who is this personage?
All right. The automaton starts writing again, once again in Zemnian. And Cirthus, how long does comprehend languages last?
An hour.
An hour. Okay, so you got a while then. And Cirthus reads it off as Zipul asks, what was your question exactly again, Zipul?
Who was this person?
Oh, who is this person? And as it's relayed through Cirthus, you find that the automaton wrote, "My creator."
Well, yes. Okay. That is... Thank you, Metal Child.
And it nods at you. It's interesting because it seems to be in default mode that it's communicating in this Zemnian, but it does understand everything you say in common. While we're at this, Chomp, could you make a intelligence check and add your what's it called modifier? Make an intelligence check, add your proficiency modifier, Chomp.
Okay, intelligence. 18.
18, okay. So reading through and about, just kind of skimming through, finding the sections that you need to in this book, you glean a couple things off just in the maybe 15 minutes that you've been waiting here, reading. The first is that parts, of course, the parts of an automaton and the parts that you would make into a prosthetic limb are fairly similar, except for in where, of course, a prosthetic limb would join with a living body. There are a few different pieces that are used. From what you can see, it's fairly complicated building either one. The automaton definitely more so, but even just a limb it can take quite a bit of research and trial and error, using different materials and things like that. The magical intelligence inside of an automaton is exponentially more difficult and complicated to create, and can take years to develop. You get the feeling that it might take you maybe a couple weeks to figure out how to build an arm for Crom. As for powering the automaton, you find that many arcane or divine power sources might power one such as this, and as it seems to be able to be powered by simple heat fairly well, you could probably find a way to imbue something with enough energy to perpetually power this thing. You just have to kind of suss out exactly how to kind of bind enough power to the right material. And as you are thinking about this, once again, the coal having grown a little bit less white hot and more into the red zone, kind of the automaton kind of falls back once again onto its butt.
Do you guys want me to keep him up on his feet?
I feel we need to come up with a more permanent solution to that.
Yes.
Well, guys, I have some news. First of all, Crom, it's gonna take me a while to figure out building you a robot arm, but it's not impossible. I think I could do it. And secondly, this automaton is incredibly advanced. It's an incredibly advanced metal child, and I believe I know how to power it. We need to find it can be powered by many things. We need like a universal source of burning power, a USB, if you will.
Hey, you were reading, but have you ever heard of this guy? He's the one who made it.
Oh yeah, have I ever heard of this great builder inventor person?
Halas Lutagren. Make a. So you can choose either make an Arcana check or make a history check. It's up to you.
Well, I can. Where was it? Oh yeah, I can add.
By the way, let me interject this real quick.
Yeah.
Since I have an hour on that comprehend languages,
Yes.
I'm just gonna like look around the room, and if there's anything I don't understand what it is, I'm just gonna touch it and read it.
Okay. So yeah. First off, Trump, yeah, make that check. What are we? What kind of check are we making?
I'm gonna do a history check, and that is 24.
24. Okay. Oh wow. So you've you've done a bit of reading about historical figures in arcanists and alchemists and things like that. You have heard of a fairly famous mage who is known for delving into all kinds of things. Who actually existed before the Calamity. Was really the last time he was seen. Disappeared a little bit before the Great War that happened between the gods. Hasn't been seen since. But was a fairly well-known inventor as well as magic user.
So yeah, I've heard of that guy. This thing must be really old.
At least 800 years.
I knew that because I asked him if he was alive for the Warmblood's lifespan. He said no.
That's true. Sean, could you make an investigation check real quick?
Yep, one moment. 1 second,
That's cool.
$26.
26. Okay. So taking a look around the room while you have your spell up, you do find a good number of things around the room. A couple books in common. You also find what looks like a journal. It turns out it's a guest book. Apparently other members of the guild who come through and stay here. Some either just sign or they might leave a short message as to what they were doing. And flipping through it, you see several different languages used, including Zemnian. It's but nothing magical, if that's what you were looking for.
No, just anything interesting.
All right. Okay. As just for clarification on the arm, you think it would take you several weeks to be able to build an arm just using kind of the automaton as a model. Because you definitely ran this through in your head while you were thinking about it. It might take you a couple of days to modify one of the automaton's arms to fit to Crom.
Uh-huh. Well, we may need Crom in full working order sooner than a few weeks.
This is true.
What are you trying to say?
Well, I think that having a one-armed barbarian and a two-armed servant versus having a two-armed barbarian and a one-armed servant, I feel like the latter might be more useful.
A servant that can't do anything.
He just said all that useful stuff, and he knows how to write very well.
Yes, and I could build. In the meantime, I could work. After I modify and transplant the arm, I could continue to work on a new arm, and then swap them out, or put the new arm on the Metal Man. But for a quick fix, I think we need to look into transplanting this robot arm.
It will not damage the metal child?
No, I mean, it would not permanently. I think the process is reversible. It's.
Yeah.
He will be temporarily, without arm.
Will he feel pain?
I don't think that is possible. So no.
But I mean, it could be powered down.
Oh yeah, he would definitely be.
Well, how
not.
Just so you all know, as you're saying this, the automaton, who is not totally depowered, is just kind of sitting there, head going back and forth, listening to everything that's happening. And Zippel, as you kind of are getting upset about this, it reaches up and puts a hand on your arm and kind of pats you.
See, he's cool with it.
Are you sure, Metal Child?
And it gives you a thumbs up.
Okay. You have his blessing, so how can I say no?
All right.
And as you say this, the automaton reaches into its chest, grabs the coal with its right arm, and kind of pulls it out and immediately kind of slumps to the side.
Oh god, that's kind of disturbing.
That was obscenely dramatic.
Yes.
This Halak, the leather man, had the flair for the theater, I think.
All right.
Well, I think if we're going to take on a dragon next, I propose that we stay here for another few days as we prepare, as we find some sort of heat shielding if we can, or spells we can learn to protect us from fire, and also getting Crom a revolver.
Can I also add something to the to-do list?
Yes, we are agreeing to that.
To throw it out there, since the metal child says he is from the area, maybe we find out if that wizard had a workshop. Even if it is in ruins, maybe it might yield up some things that could be of use to your work.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, I'd be willing. Yeah, I think I might be okay with going to find a inventor's workshop. That could be something I might be okay with. Yeah, oh, I guess, and also add to the list power source for Metal Man.
Yes. Which, again, it might be in the workshop, so who knows?
This is true.
And we can... His idea.
All right.
So what would we like to do first? So you have a few days at least of kind of removing the arm and figuring out a way to get it attached to Crom, and so it's it'll be, let's say, 3 days here in Vasselheim. Is there anything anybody would like to do first?
Oh, also, I find it interesting that we were concerned with the Metal Man side of the arm, but also, Crom, this might be a painful surgery for you. Just throwing that out there.
I'm fine. I can take it. I'm strong.
So I'm not exactly a doctor.
I am literally the doctor.
Okay, well, you will. Then I hope that you will assist in the attachment. I think I can handle the disassembly portion, but the attachment side,
If it is the will of Pelor, then yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, so that and so we let's see.
All right.
So what do we want to do first?
Do you guys want to work on the arm first and then see what we can find?
Yeah, I would like to have an arm. That would be cool.
And that's going to be somewhat of a long-term project. I mean, I guess I could stay here and begin, unscrewing the arm and getting all that stuff going, and you guys
Split the party.
Yeah, and you guys can go.
How do we know what to look for?
Well, what are you doing?
I mean, we're looking for parts, right? And possibly a source of powering them.
Information on this guy's laboratory. I mean, but this laboratory is going to be in ruins, so it would be like lore, legend, history type stuff.
I'll help with whatever. It's up to y'all.
All right.
Yeah, I'll stay here and work on the arm.
Okay. And you had also said you were looking for heat shielding of some type or heat protection?
Oh, yeah. Some type of dragon fighting help.
Yeah. So there are several different places that you might be able to find each of these things in town. You had been promised that the Slayer's Take could help you get entrance into the Cobalt Reserve, which is the Cobalt Soul's large archives. Not the Cobalt Reserve, sorry, the Cobalt Archive. Well, now I can't remember. I hate it when I do this.
ZPL is going to put up a very sheepish claw. And
the Cobalt Vault. There it is. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. He's going to pull out of his bag his Red Dragon shield scale and he's gonna see if this could be of any use in the needing of a scale, since it is a red dragon shield scale.
So as you watch, Zeepiel takes out off his back, slings around the shield that he carries with him, and as you see, it's made of several different, looks like red dragon scales that are kind of bound around in some type of metal.
Is this useful?
Well, look at that.
What the fuck?
Either Chomp or Cirithus or both make an Arcana check.
Yeah.
What was that?
I got a 13.
13.
18.
18. All right. Chomp, as you kind of lean forward as like, oh yeah, we could use that. Cirithus, you kind of say, wait, let me see that. And looking it over, you realize that it has been otherwise enchanted, and therefore its power is bound into something else already. You wouldn't be able to use it in a new enchantment.
So, but the shield itself
Is special.
yeah, Zeepiel, do you, how does that thing handle dragon fire?
You know, it's never come up. But if it would be of use, perhaps to another member of the party, I would be happy to offer it.
Yeah, I mean,
You would need it also.
I feel like it could,
I've only got one arm right now.
be
so
fireproof. Yes, we know.
I only have one arm.
Yeah, if it could be used in helping Crom regain their other arm, I would be more than happy to loan it or lend it or offer it to that.
Not so much that. I'm just thinking we could, if we can't use the scales themselves, it may be useful in protecting one of us while we acquire the scales from another dragon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe if I'm there.
I mean, we could tie it to their arm, or whatever. It's here, and it's of the party's discretion how to use.
Well, I appreciate you bringing it up. This is a useful bit of info.
All right. And I believe that scale shield does give resistance to fire damage. Yes. Okay. So other places in town, you could find things. You were made aware that. Oh gosh, let me find it. That Marjolina, the owner of the Fantastic Cart, said that she does come by magical items every now and then. It is hard to find magical items sometimes in Vasselheim, as anything arcane in nature is kind of frowned upon. And the few divine pieces of magical items that are around are generally closely guarded by the different religions. But you might start there, as well as at the Cobalt Vault. So, who would like to lead up the search for what?
Okay, so Chomp is staying to work on the arm, so that leaves. All right. Who's good at books?
I'm not terrible.
Yeah, I think that would be my thing.
Do you want to go there? Do you need backup?
Probably.
All right.
And yeah, so
All right. So first off, we want to try to get information at the Cobalt Vault.
yeah, sounds good. Yeah.
Okay. So the three of you, Roland staying behind to keep Chomp some company. Roland's been, just kind of quiet, introspective even. But the three of you making your way out to the Cobalt Vault over in the Silver Talon's Reach, which is the area of town near the center of town that is dedicated to the Platinum Dragon mostly. You find yourself in front of this large building, not too ornate, and once again the same, maybe the same, you're not sure, a lot of them look quite alike, but the monks guarding the front door challenge you. This time, however, you have been given a small sealed letter from Vanessa, who said to take this along, and it should get you at least inside. And she handed that to you, Crom. So you have this letter. Upon looking at the letter, they kind of look around at the three of you and look back at the letter, but then hand it back to you and escort you through the double front doors of the Cobalt Vault. Upon entering, you see kind of radiating hallways of books going out in every direction, several stories high with walkways along each story. And then cross pathways. It seems to almost be laid out a bit like the city, as in it's kind of in a semicircle, and there's these kind of cross paths that go through these main radiating paths that go off kind of a center point. But there must be, oh gosh, between the books and the different scrolls, maybe 1 million books in this place. Just looking at it, it's a little overwhelming. And a very young monk, head-shaved bald, with a little bit of a braid of hair left at the back, a few inches long, comes up to you, just in gray robes, and says, yes, my name is Enzio. I am to be helping you. What can I help you with?
Hello.
So what information do we want?
I've had to restart Google Handouts a few times, or Hangouts. What are we looking for?
We're looking for information about how to protect from fire or dragons, right? Yeah.
Anything on artifice and the worship of the sun god, and also any books on or materials on Halak the something or other.
Oh yeah, the movement.
And maybe something on how to live with a disability.
Oh,
Maybe some help books.
I
don't have an arm.
The young monk says, I had noticed. My condolences. But please follow me, and kind of gestures you into the library ways. You start seeing these kind of small open areas every once in a while at intersections where there's several tables set up and lamps burning. Guide you to one a ways in and says, please sit down, and then goes off to find some books for you. And starts bringing them back, piling them up in different piles, a pile for the history of famous mages, another pile for dragons, specifically fire-breathing dragons. And what was the last thing we were looking for? Now I'm forgetting.
Artifice, just any.
Oh yes, and artificing in general. There's quite a bit on dragons. It's a very popular topic. Who would like to make an investigation check reading through the dragon books?
That would be me.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's see. 18.
18. All right, so looking through the dragon books, you had already known quite a bit about dragons. You've had a couple different run-ins now with them, just with this group. And you've done some other research in the past. But specifically about fire-breathing dragons, you find... Oh, sorry. All right, you find that there are two types. The first type that you were looking for were the red dragons. Oh gosh. Yes, and then there were the brass dragons, I believe, that also, but they being metallic dragons, you're not so worried about. Red dragons are, you find, are known for being fairly territorial, known for carving out kind of large pieces of territory and every once in a while moving on to something else, moving their horde with them. Sometimes will enlist the aid of kobolds, goblins, maybe gnolls, depending on what's in the area, to build things for it, such as temples, places of worship for the dragon, things like that. They love to be adored. But a lot of that comes through also loving to be feared. And as for ways of finding fire resistance, you find that there are some, you can make potions of fire resistance. It's fairly common to find items with a resistance to fire on them, giving you some protection, whether it be a ring or a cloak, shield, such as Zippel has. And yes, the one thing that you are cautioned about is that they're very smart, red dragons, and one of the largest species of dragon. Would anybody like to make a check about Halas?
I will.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
16.
Okay. Reading through, you don't find a whole lot about. He's mentioned in a couple of the older histories as a fairly famous inventor, and there's a very short mention of how one of the councils of mages at the time had rejected an application of his for a project, stating that it was too controversial. It does not say what the project was, just that he was generally kind of a controversial
Does
figure.
it say what the wizard who rejected it was?
No, it talks about the... Oh gosh, no, I need to look. Oh gosh.
And was this basically like he wanted grant funding, or?
I mean, you get something like that, yeah.
Halas is broke as shit.
Let me see. Yeah, I can't. I need to find, sorry, I'm trying to find the right place in my notes. Okay. I'm sorry about this. Okay. For the sake of this right now, I'm going to say no. It does not say the council. Just talking about it, it was kind of a in brief of one of the council of one of the mage cities. Yeah.
Okay. Cheers.
Okay. And then what was the last thing we were looking for? Artificing in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who would like? Who, sorry. Oh, well, you were.
Roll.
Yeah, somebody roll for artificing, and then Crom, you were going to be looking up living with a disability, yes?
Yeah. That's me. But I mean, that's not important.
I mean, it could be. I don't know.
23.
23 for that.
I'm counting it up.
So, artificing, looking up things they have on that. There's quite a bit. There's been a lot of uses for it over the years, including the flying ships, the sky ships that you had already traveled on a bit. Things like the mechanical lion that you had seen in the Elven capital, as well as the automaton that you seem to have found now. It is widely viewed as kind of the future of a lot of the arcane arts, finding ways to imbue different schools of magic into mechanical objects. And yeah, I mean, there's because it was artificing in general. We could go into a lot. So
I guess what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look through what I can, make notes, and I feel Chomp should be the one actually researching this, and maybe it'll help him. But maybe I can make a list of more interesting, more to the point of what he's trying to do.
Yeah, I think we could do that. With that role, you could make notes that would definitely help him, and maybe even speed up the process some.
Is Enzio still there?
Yeah, Enzio is kind of off to the side, hands in front of them, just waiting.
Hey, I have a question. First of all, I see that there's apparently not very much on the Sun God, and that's fine.
I'm sorry, that was not a joke.
No, I mean, it's fine. I don't really, I know all about it myself. I just wanted to compare notes. But there is this island I went to as a hatchling, and I cannot remember the name of it. And I was hoping that maybe if I described it, it had some very, very specific stone structures. And I didn't know if maybe that's jogged any bells in your head that maybe you could say, oh, yes, let me go get the books from that section, and you could bring it to me, and I could remember it.
Right. What is this place you were thinking of?
It is an island with some very specific stone structures.
What do the structures look like?
Stone.
They are stone.
I'm trying to remember all that you described them as.
Yeah. So you're talking about the stone structures that were these huge rings, kind of held up by mountains on this mountainous island.
Yes, there was a mountainous island, and there were some rings of stone, and they were held up by the mountains.
All right. So Enzio looks at you and says, this does not ring any bells at the moment, but I can go and ask one of the archivists, see what they think.
There would be something in it for you, and I hold up one of my pamphlets.
Indeed. Hold on. I'll be right back. And they kind of rush off. In the meantime, I need to find. Yes. Okay. A few minutes later, they come back with a single book. It looks like it's fairly thin. And as they open it up, you see that it's actually looks to be a handwritten journal. And they tell you this was the journal of a sea captain several hundred years ago. And the archivist I spoke to did remember that they did. Let me find it real quick. Yes, here. And they find this date in there with a fairly short entry talking about an island near Visa Island. Not Visa Island itself, but an island that was spotted near there. Apparently it had been rumored for a long time, but this is one of the only places that it's been found written down. It was by this captain named the Autumn K, and was a medium to largish island in the Osmet Sea that suddenly appeared out of the mist, was seen for a few minutes, and just as quickly disappeared. Later on, they could not seem to find it. But also describes these kind of large stone rings that you're talking about.
Is there any, because it's a sea captain, are there coordinates or like longitude and latitude for his entry?
It gives minutes off of minutes and a heading out off of Visa Isle.
All right, I'm just gonna copy all of that down.
Okay. So copying all that down, you have some kind of idea about where this might be. At this point, Enzio says, and is there anything else? If there isn't, I have been instructed to escort you out of the building whenever you are done.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My headset, the USB thing's all messed up and it keeps disconnecting. Do I have time? Am I able to research ritual spells here?
I mean, you could. This seems to be an extensive library with all kinds of things. Arcane magic is, like I said, kind of frowned upon in most of the city, but here in the library, they archive things simply to have it archived, so they have everything.
Okay.
What would you be specifically looking for?
Well, I was going to ask you, I don't know. I know if I could do more than one, that would be awesome. But priority would be locate animals and plants, because I think it might be beneficial for us in what we're doing.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say make another investigation check.
Also, we need if you have spells that protect people from fires, that would be helpful if you find.
As Enzio hearing this says, we do not.
15.
15. Okay. Enzio says we do not keep such things here.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Can the rest of you hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Now you can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Enzio says, as for fire protection, we do not keep such things here. There may be places in town that you can have something blessed or find items that might be able to help you with such things. As for your request, Sirthis, Enzio brings you a few books, and it will take you with the 15. it'll take you the better part of about 3 hours to transcribe from parts here and parts there, and then figuring out what order they go through to be able to have this ritual spell ready to go. But you are able to put it. I don't know if the other two of you want to wait the entire time for 3 hours, but
I mean, if we're here and there are books on Pelor,
How
sorry.
was that?
how long am I allowed to stay? Because I don't have to sleep, so I can pass the notes on to them to bring to Chomp.
This is true. So as it becomes obvious that you're going to be here for a while, you are told that you have 6 hours, and then they're going to be closing the kind of public visiting hours at that point. So you could run through this one and that. You could do a second.
Okay, and it's going to take a few days, right?
Yes.
For Chomp, so I can return.
You could return, yeah.
I'm going to try whatever I can get accomplished.
Okay. Let's say over the course of the days, including talk to plants and animals, you would be able to do. Yeah, you could do 4 or 5 different spells. Now it depends on, like, if the higher the level of the spell, the longer it's going to take. Talk to plants and animals, not too high of a spell, but if you're going to be learning something more around, what do you have 5th level spells right now?
No, I don't think so. Let me see here. Third
level spells.
I'm multi-class to sorcerer.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. Anything. Let me see something here. Better find the things. All right, because speak with plants is what level of spell?
Not speak with locate plants and animals.
Oh, locate
for
plants
the
and
ritual.
animals.
Yeah,
That's right.
It's a 2nd level.
That's right. Okay, so yeah. I mean, it would take about 3 hours for a 2nd level, a little less for a 1st level. A 3rd level is going to take you more time, just because it's more esoteric knowledge than the lower levels. So just depending on what if you have some things in mind, we could see how long exactly it's going to take you.
Yeah, I'll make like a kind of like a priority list kind of thing,
Yeah.
and then you let me know what I was able to accomplish.
Okay. Yeah. If you just write that down real quick and either send it over chat or to like something, one of those. In the meantime, yeah. Was there anything specific you wanted to know? Excuse me. Zippold, is there anything specifically you wanted to know about Pelor?
Sorry, I was muted. Just page through and see if there's any appearances of him showing up like he did in my dream, a lizard folk with the head of the sun. That's all.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
15.
15. All right. Looking through, you see some mentions of Pelor showing up as an avatar of Pelor anyway, in different forms, depending on species, things like that. Generally always with that kind of sunburst for the sun itself as his head. Not a whole lot specifically, though, about showing up as a lizard folk. Although there's not a lot from the lizard folk perspective written here.
Yeah.
You do see a little bit of history about Pelorus, specifically just the highlights of history. His
The greatest hits.
the greatest hits. During he actually was the one who beat down Thera's Dune during the end of the War of the Calamity, and held them in place for the rites of banishment. Yes, it was. So Pelor is one of the stronger of the divine gods, as it were.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I will.
Yes.
Sorry, I was just going to say, when I give the books on Pelor back, I'm totally slipping several of my pamphlets in the stack just to get them cataloged.
Okay. So you're going to write your own made up Dewey Decimal number on the side, or?
I don't know if are they at do these books have Dewey Decimal numbers?
No, I'm pretty sure they use Library of Congress, but.
All right, well then, I mean, I'll probably just tuck them into another one of the books.
Yeah. In any case. Okay. So yes. The next thing we're gonna do is try to find something to protect from fire. You were told by the archivists here that they don't have things like that, but you might find it somewhere in town. You did know that you might find such items or some type of magical items at the my brain. Okay, at the Fantastic Cart, the bookstore that you had on the huge cart that roams its way throughout the city. Would you like to go there in the meantime, while Sirthis is kind of sticking around to learn these ritual spells? Yes. All right. Could you make, just walking throughout the city, make an investigation check to see, because it does move about the city, but going from where you last saw it, make an investigation check.
Hold on, we're getting.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Are we both leaving then?
I mean, it's up to you.
I mean, yeah.
Sorry,
We just
the connection was weird for a minute and it froze, so I couldn't hear or whatever was going on. Sorry.
Okay. Just a second. Can I get this? I need you to make an investigation check to try to find where the Fantastic Cart is today.
I got a 15.
Okay. It takes a little bit, but you are able to find it. Zipple, did you want to go with Crom for this, or did you want to stay at the vault?
I mean, I'll leave it to them and wherever they think I'll be most useful.
Yeah, you should come with me. You have money, right?
Am I what?
You have money? In case we have to buy something, I have some money.
I have better than money. I have the word of Pelor.
Okay, we'll see about that. We'll see if that'll help.
Although she did tell me no, she didn't want my handmade book before. Yes, I do have some monies.
Cool, let's go.
All right. Finding your way through town once again, going a little bit south. It takes a little bit, but you're able to find that familiar sight of the kind of slightly lurching back and forth, cottage-sized
cart going through the street, kind of pushing people out of the way as it's hauled by the musk oxes. And stepping up onto the step and into the door, you find yourself once again in the cozy little close quarters of the fantastic cart. Books piled high on every shelf around and aisles of going between them. And you find Margelina sitting at her table, kind of in the midst of it all. And as you come in, she says, "Oh yes, my lizard friend, please come in. What are you doing?"
Hello.
"Hello. Fine. And you? You seem to be seem to have lost something there."
No,
I don't have an arm. I'm missing an arm.
I noticed. Yes. Well, hopefully we can fix that. Yeah.
Yep.
In any case, what is it that we can do for you? Would you like any books? We have lots of books.
Maybe. Also, maybe any items that help people be resistant to fire, or potions, or spell books that have stuff about that. We're gonna fight a dragon, and it's gonna get us caught on fire, and we'd like to not.
Oh my. A dragon. Hold on. And she kind of goes into her she has a little notebook she takes out of her pocket, and she starts flipping through it. Then kind of looks, flipping through it again, and sorry. Yeah, that works. I'm just gonna get this message from Sean copied over. Okay. And as she's looking through, eventually says, well, there might be something. Hold on. And she rummages around once again underneath her table. As you see, there's all kinds of boxes and bags and satchels and things under there. And as she brings it out this small box with kind of a carved lid on it and opens it up, you see 2 rings. And she says, I've been told these will protect, at least somewhat, from heat, burning things. Although, in my experience, and I did put one on once, they are a bit uncomfortable to wear. It kind of stings a bit. A little bit distracting, but I could sell them to you.
Yeah, sure. How much for each of them?
We could go. I mean, since there is the stinging kind of thing going on with them, I'd say 150 gold apiece.
We'll take it.
Wait, what is exactly the item?
Well, it's what does it? What's that?
You said it stings, but I didn't hear what exactly it was.
It's a ring. There's 2 rings. It's 150 gold each. They according to Margelina, they give fire resistance, basically.
They want gloves.
But they also are a bit uncomfortable to wear.
Isn't everything?
Well, in that it stings to wear.
The Warmbloods have a wonderful tradition that they like to call haggling. Would you like to haggle?
Well, I don't know. What would you offer?
Okay, so couple things. We need this item to kind of save the world. So
I'm sure.
It is kind of in your best interest to take a break on the price. Second, I have several pamphlets illuminated that I did. I have also a bag of marigold seeds. I don't know if you would like those. They're not magical inherently, but they are nice when they grow, and you know that's a form of magic on itself.
She just kind of is looking at you.
And if we get them both, I think you should give us a discount for buying both. Please. I will bless your cart.
She just kind of once again is just staring at you and says, "Make a persuasion check."
It's an 11.
She says, "I'm sorry. No."
But I've asked really nicely.
Indeed, it was quite nice, but yeah, that's
Okay. Do you loan or rent, and we return them?
I'm sorry. All sales are final here. You have to say it's yes.
I need to talk to Crom about this.
Okay.
Crom, when I said I have money, I don't know what it means, how much I have. Is this a good value to buy? Lost Crom in the cart.
I have some marijuana still.
This is not the time for that.
Well, I mean, maybe she would like to have some of it. I don't know if they have that here, so maybe.
Imported.
We get her peer pressured.
Oh God.
This is some of that good Port Zoom stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, are you offering her some pot?
Crom, I will be honest. I have offered her plants already, and she was not interested.
Oh, well, you offered seeds, I thought. Potential plants. This has already been happening.
You have dead plants. That's not going to be of use to anybody.
Oh my goodness, have you never smoked? Okay, we're gonna smoke later. Okay. I will save some of it for later. But seriously though, yeah, I'm gonna try to sell her
Trade.
trade some how much?
All right.
This meeting.
How much are you gonna offer the trader?
I have 5 joints already rolled for her. I already did the work.
That before you lost your arm.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that one-handed. Okay. Looking at you, looking down, she takes one of them in her hand and says, and kind of sniffs it.
Oh no, she's a narc.
Puts it back down and says, "All right. I'll tell you what. I will." And you said you have 5 of them. I will take off. Let's say I will do the joints plus 220 gold for the both rings.
Yeah, that's a deal.
Margelina, I would like to talk about why you're interested in her strange rolled cigarettes and not my religious blessing.
Well, I can get a blessing anywhere in Vasselheim. You gotta. It's not every day we come across, some of the good stuff. They over in the Abundant Terrace, they actually refused to grow it, and so we don't get a lot of it here. You see, it's so snowy most of the year.
If it's so rare, it seems like it would be maybe worth more than 80 bucks. I mean, You're the one saying it's rare. That's all.
And that's why I'm going to give you 80 gold of value for it.
Take it. We take it.
All right. She's kind of staring at Zippel. She hands you the box with the rings, and takes the joints as well as 200 gold. Sorry, 220 gold. And you now have 2 rings of fire resistance specifically. And if you take them back, and get them identified, you will find that they are called. They're known as the burning ring. Each one is the burning ring of fire. It is uncomfortably warm to wear, and if you wear them, you get resistance to fire damage, but you also have disadvantage on wisdom ability checks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they do not attune, so you can take them on and off. But just be aware. All right. And you have 2. So, moving on, is there anything else anybody wants to do today? Cirthus, I'm looking over your list right now, so give me a second on that.
I would like to smoke Ezekiel out when we get back to the Slayer place.
I'm pretty sure you could do that.
Cool.
But first I'm gonna, okay, so locate animals and plants you're able to get. Oh. Let's see. I'd say you were able to, in the next few days, to get everything but Purify Food and Drink and Phantom Steed.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You could get those at another point later on, but yeah, with the time you have, yeah, you could get everything but those 2. Okay. As you all later on in the day, that night meet back up at the Slayer's Take, you find Chomp working at the side of the automaton, kind of, and he's got part of the shoulder disassembled and some parts laying on the table nearby, and like he's got his goggles down and is just really into it. But yeah, is there, if you would like to partake of some grown refreshment, please go ahead.
Yeah. So, are you gonna smoke with me, buddy?
I don't want. What?
Just try it. Just try it. I'm gonna intimidate if he doesn't try it.
I think I have to go pray or something.
Are you?
Intimidation.
Okay. Make an intimidation check against. Oh gosh. Zippel, could you make just a general wisdom check?
If I win, I get to like make her feel bad about smoking. And she gets up the habit. Or they. I got an 18.
18. Okay. What?
I got a 19 because I have advantage.
What's your intimidation? What's your?
Okay. She rolls a 19 against your 18. So. Zippel, as Crom kind of looms over you.
Hotboxing me? What are you doing?
My monocle gives me advantage on intimidation.
She's peer pressuring you into smoking.
She's holding me down and just blowing smoke into my lungs, like some weird CPR.
No, it's more like just peer pressure.
Smoke.
Ezekiel is just coughing and coughing and coughing.
Oh, you love it.
His eyes are very red.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
It's a 20.
Okay. Well, no, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
you don't have a bad trip your first time. As the smoke kind of gets inhaled into your lungs, even though you didn't especially want to, you have a nice mellow high. You kind of just relax.
Yes.
No paranoia. You find yourself just peaceful. Like it's not too bad.
You know what? I'm thinking since Crom did this nice thing to me, I'm going to do the nice thing back and baptize them when they're asleep.
Oh. Oh my.
Oh my. Oh. True enough. Okay. Is there anything else anybody else wants to do in the next few days as Chomp is working on this? Otherwise, we can kind of skip through to the arm.
I'm good.
All right. Hearing no dissent from the crowd. A couple days later, after the rest of you come back from either wandering about the city, trying to find information, or Cirithus, on your final day of finding these spells and learning them, transcribing them, and memorizing parts. You all once again regroup and find that Chomp is expectantly waiting for you, having totally detached and the left arm of the automaton, and it has it ready and kind of attached some of these new clamps onto it so that it can go onto Crom. So, yes.
So, Crom, are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Am I still high?
I mean, this is a couple days later. Unless you want to still be smoking.
I do not.
Yeah, I need him. I need him at 100% to help me with the operation.
All right. So yeah, how do you want to do this?
Well,
Sedate me first.
Deacon
Yes.
grabs his mace.
do we have any anything to sedate Crom with, or I mean, probably need to restrain you.
Actually, if this is at the end of my research, I could cast Feign Death on her.
Oh,
What does that do?
it makes you
Pretend
Like you're
dead?
dead.
yeah.
For an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that could help.
I mean, that's some great anesthesia. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
Word.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yes,
yeah,
Should be
we got
minimal loss of blood and everything.
Cirthus, the anesthesiologist.
All right. And with Zeeple kind of helping you, kind of get it into place. As Crom is kind of out for the hour, it takes the better part of that hour to get it into place, attach some of these kind of magical or arcano-mechanical clamps into place and leads that go into the shoulder, kind of, and it's a little bit pieced together, and there's several little tubes and kind of things that go into the flesh, but there's very little bleeding, and you're able to get it fairly, you think, well attached, and yeah. Now, as part of the research we were doing on this arm, you find there were several things that were included in specifically the automaton's arm, one of which was several tools, one in each finger. Like the ends of the fingers will pop open and different tools can come out and be used. Just general kind of shop tools. The other thing was that there is a small kind of cannon in the arm you found. That a few times a day can launch a firebolt.
Awesome.
Yeah, as well as it just looks pretty badass. As Crom comes back too, and Crom, you look down, you kind of sit up, and the arm is hanging at your side, and it's kind of this brass and silver, and even in places a little bit of different gems and stones that are kind of interwoven in these different circular patterns with runes around them and different glyphs. And at first it doesn't move at all, and as you kind of concentrate on it, you see the hand kind of, which is in a fist, kind of unfurl, and as you see the fingers go out, and then you're able to kind of bend the elbow and the shoulder, and it kind of whirs a little bit as you move it around, and kind of this sliding metal against metal sound of the plates going against each other. And looking down at it, you kind of pop the little cannon up out of your forearm, kind of Iron Man style, and pop it back down. And you have this awareness that different things can, like there's a Phillips head screwdriver in the pointer finger, and in the next finger there's like a little socket wrench, and like you have this awareness of how to get these things, and it hurts a little bit, like it pinches up at the shoulder, but nothing too bad, and you assume you'll get used to it.
I'm indestructible.
Well, now, Crom, no. Be careful with that.
Yeah, that is only a loner.
It's true. It does act as a shield. As a note, you did lose the bracer, your bracer shield, with your left arm. But this does kind of act as a replacement, meaning that you can keep that plus to your AC.
Cool.
Yes. Now it. Yeah. So it looks pretty cool, and it seems functional.
I was gonna like refer to her as Bucky, but more like Inspector Gadget.
I've been calling her Rick Allen.
You're calling her what? Sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Yeah, she's we noticed that she's proficient in drums, so I started calling her Rick Allen, like the drummer from Def Leppard.
I have an arm.
But now you have an arm,
But
yes.
now I have an
So.
arm.
But you are proficient.
I am.
Just call her Jet Black. That's all.
Much more metal than Def Leppard.
Yes. All right. So with Crom kind of repaired and with a little bit of fire protection, what would you all like to do? You haven't technically taken the contract for the dragon yet. It is still open.
Well, yeah, let's go pick up that bounty board mission and go kill a dragon, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Yes? Everybody? You in?
I think we should assess it when we get there, but if we can get a scale without getting killed, that's probably better.
I will be honest with you, that was my plan as well.
Also, who's going to be using the ring? I have fire resistance, I believe, already being as a racial.
That is true.
And I have the shield.
And you have two of the ring. So.
Okay, so Chomp and Crom. Definitely Crom. Something tells me be up close.
And then also remember, you will have Roland with you as well.
Yeah, probably Roland and Crom.
Or Chomp.
No, I mean, I'm gonna try to stay away.
But you're squishy. But okay, yeah.
I'm gonna be.
Yeah.
You're gonna be up there in its face.
I'm indestructible.
No, you're not indestructible.
All right. So who is going to have the rings then? I mean, we could wait till next time too. I don't know that you're going to get to the dragon this time.
Yeah,
I just figured we need to have it on. Decide who's going to be having it.
I mean, it is helpful.
yeah, I think Roland and myself, yeah.
Melee.
Are you cool with that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll go with that. All right. So are you all heading out then?
Yeah, let's
I'm ready.
go do this dragon.
All right. So getting a little bit of information from Vanessa downstairs. You're given kind of basic directions to the mountain you're looking for. Sorry, I got to go back to that part of my notes. Remouden Mountain.
Remountain the mountain.
Remouden Mountain. Yes. Which is an old dwarven mining and forging city. Not a huge city, but pretty good size. That's been abandoned for a couple hundred years. It's about, by what you can guess, 3 days from your current location. But getting on your way, it is, there we go. Like, we'll say that you probably wait overnight since it was the end of that last day that you did this. But leaving in the morning, you get going on your trip, making your way once again out of the western side of the city, through the Dusk Meadow, and you are once again in the kind of frozen, not exactly tundra, but very cold, bitingly cold, as today when you're leaving, it's actually snowing. This light but large flakes kind of slowly falling down around you as you are making your way out of the city and over the first of the hills, leaving town. Who would like to just make a, because this time you are going to have to once again find your way through the wilderness, so who would like to make a survival check?
I will.
Go for it.
Oh no.
Oh no. What is oh no?
It means it started and I rolled a 1.
Oh.
Yeah, that happens. It is cold out, and being of a, not the warmest blooded nature, Zippel, you were sure that you had memorized the directions fairly well. But in kind of your haste to leave town and get started on this, you had forgotten a couple of your hot water bottles, and you're not quite as warm as you might have been. And you end up getting fairly, you're sure, by the end of the day, lost through a kind of a winding series of snowy valleys in the foothills to the mountains here. But at the end of your first day, you bed down for the night, sleeping once again in your dome, which is warm enough. But come morning, who would like to helm the path today?
I'll do it.
All right, please make a survival check.
16.
What was that?
16.
16. Okay. So today, you decide rather than kind of trying to find your way through the valleys, you make the kind of slow trudge up this snowy hill so you can get a better vantage. And it does help that you can. You took a look at some maps before you left, and you kind of picked out which mountain was Remouden, and you can kind of pick it out on the skyline, and you kind of line it up with a couple other smaller hills, so you can have, as you go through the valleys, you can have goals to reach, intermittent goals, and you're able to get a pretty good distance today. However, by your estimate, you lost a good half day the day before. So, as you bed down for the night again, on your third day, who would like to roll a survival check today? It can be the same people. It's up to you though.
I don't know if you all are willing to let me try again.
Yeah, go for it. You want to one again. You want to get one again.
This time all told a 14.
A 14. All right. So on this third day, kind of taking some cues from Crom, you got your wits back around you. You're getting used to it. The cold a little bit. Still really hard, but you're able to find your way. By the end of the day, you all find yourself in the looming shadow of this mountain that's larger than all the other hills around it. You're still maybe a half mile off when you start to catch on the wind this kind of the sound of, it's almost like hammering, like metal on stone or something like that, while you're still a ways off from the mountain, just intermittently from very far. And you find yourself here at what you assume is Remountain Mountain.
You guys were here.
Yay, we found it, probably.
There is the noise of industry coming from inside. I thought this place was abandoned by the dwarves.
That's a good point.
Maybe the dragon has some minions doing things.
Maybe they are the tasty kobolds.
Ooh, yeah.
It is just something to be aware of.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So, what would you like to do? Are you going up to, or take a look around, or what would you like to do?
Well, just to start us out, I am going to cast Locate Creature.
Okay.
And it lasts for an hour at a range of 1,000 feet. I just want to see if I can locate like a dragon.
Okay. I need to look in my notebook here. Check some distances. All right. Cool. So you have that up for the next hour. While you have that up, where would you like? What would the rest of you like to do? I mean, because as you can kind of intermittently hear this noise coming from kind of a little bit up the slope somewhere. Like I said, you're still in the valley below the large mountain, and you haven't really taken a close look at anything yet. But
I guess we should just approach the mountain and see if there's any kind of cave or mine entrance. Or look out for
fresh footprints.
A stream, like if there's flowing water coming out of a thing, we could follow a stream towards the mountain.
Yeah, I totally knew that. I'm a survival person anyway.
Yeah.
I guess now would be a good time to do locate animals.
Yeah, if you want to.
Yep. It's supposed to have like a 5 mile thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. let me see
Direction
here.
and distance to the closest creature or plant of that kind. So I'm trying to find a dragon.
Okay. Yep, the closest creature or plant of that kind within 5 miles, if any, are present. Okay. So concentrating, just kind of closing your eyes for a moment, feeling your patron's power come into you, and your awareness spread out over this vast area. And you said you're looking for dragon? Yeah.
Yes,
So-
dragon.
So, you get the sense of, first, as your awareness spreads, it suddenly hits a bunch of these small draconic presences, much smaller than any dragon you've ever come across or heard of. And then as it continues to spread, you feel more of those small presences. And as it continues and continues out to nearly a mile distant, suddenly you feel a huge draconic presence, one single, very, very large. And it seems to be directly in the direction of the mountain you're in front of. Like, by the distance you can get on it, it seems that it's somewhere inside the mountain you're in front of.
Okay, I'll relay that information. Let's see.
Alrighty.
So that's probably kobolds.
Probably.
Those tasty, tasty kobolds.
Well, it would seem that kobolds are related to dragons. It is now canon.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, they speak Draconic, and they're Draconic in nature, so yeah.
All right. So, should we draw them out, or should we surprise them, or?
You said a mile.
I'm just gonna run in.
Yeah, how well
Ah! Run in. Great.
so I guess we just go towards
Yeah, we're sneaking.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Does anybody want to pass without trace or anything?
Does anybody have pass without a trace?
I don't know if we have that.
Somebody used to, but they might be dead.
I think that was back when there was a druid or a ranger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see. Yeah, because Roland doesn't have that. Okay, but being very sneaky, could you all please roll a group stealth check? That's the word I'm looking for.
13 minus 1 is 12.
All right. Roland rolls at 24.
16 for this.
Okay.
I got a 19.
I got 14.
Okay. All good to know. So, kind of moving towards where you think some of the sound is coming from, slowly up the hill, you fairly quickly find an old cobblestone switchback road going up the side of this mountain, and using that a bit to kind of, hide behind parts of the switchbacks and different large boulders and things. You eventually find yourself in front of a fairly large, maybe 20-foot tall, double-doored gate that seems to be coming right out of the side of the mountain, with a good-sized space in front of it. The industry you have been hearing has been getting louder and louder the whole time, and as you come kind of peeking around a small pile of boulders there, about 100 feet off from the entrance, you are. And you see this scaffolding that's set up around the entrance with kobolds, which you've seen before, climbing all over it. And they seem to be building what it takes a moment to kind of suss out what it is, but it looks like it's the large
statue depicting, at least right now they only have the hindquarters built of a dragon.
The large what?
That eventually it looks like it'll be kind of
looming over the entrance, but they only have part of it built with the big scaffolding set up, kind of made of rocks and limbs of trees that are just kind of lashed together. I mean, it's fairly well done. It's not the nicest sculpture so far, but you can tell what it is.
It was a sculpture of what?
Of a dragon.
Dragon, gotcha.
Right now it's just the hindquarters, but yes. And they don't seem to be paying your direction any mind. They seem to be either like chiseling or bringing up large pieces of stone to put up to build up the statue. But yes, what would you like to do?
You said it's just covered with kobolds, like lots of them, dozens, and.
Oh yeah, dozens. It's hard to count, but there might be as many as 100 on here.
Okay.
Do y'all want to try to sneak by, or?
I mean, I don't want to fight them all.
Fine. Okay.
Maybe we should see if there's more entrances besides just the front door.
Yeah, like maybe there's a side door.
Yeah.
Or a window. I don't know.
Break out the window.
Okay.
So you want to check around kind of the other sides of the mountain, maybe, and or make your way slowly. Who wants to make a perception check, just kind of looking around the slopes of the mountain here? Anyone?
I'll go ahead and do that because I'll use my birdie.
Oh, yes.
All
right. Go for it. Make a perception check for Casilda.
Be 15.
All right.
So with a 15, as Casilda flies up, and did you want her to be stealthy about it at all, or did you just want her to fly up and do it? I should ask.
Probably just fly.
Okay.
It's a little bird. I mean, I know it doesn't look like a normal bird, but you know.
Yeah. So as she flies up and around a bit, it's within 100 feet of you, yes? I think so.
I don't really remember.
I think it is. It's in any case, as she flies up, a ways up and kind of looking around a little bit. What was her roll?
15.
15. Let's see. Let me look at the DCs I wrote down. Yes. Yes. Okay. So around to your left, looking at the mountain, she catches a glimpse of what looks like it could be a small opening in amongst some large boulders. Looks like it could be a cave or something like that. It's just a well-shadowed area, anyway.
Shall we investigate? Team.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go check it out.
All right. Oh my. There were doggies. All right, so that's okay. Are you kidding? My dog barks at everything that moves in our neighborhood. Which means she must be asleep right now. So, moving around the side, once again being careful to keep out of sight of the kobolds. It takes you a good another half hour to make around to this spot where you thought you had seen, through Casilda's eyes, a cave. And coming up to this spot in the boulders, you do see a good size opening in the mountain, maybe 10, 15 feet across, of going kind of down and into blackness. There is a cave here. You're not sure if it's an entrance into the rest of the complex, but it does go into the mountain.
I think it's worth investigating. I think it's better than the front door.
All right.
Yeah. If we don't, there's no kobolds crawling around or anything.
I'd agree.
That we can see.
You haven't seen any. If you want to look around a little closer, you can make a perception check.
Yeah, I'll do a perception check. 12.
Okay. Looking around, you don't see any kobolds or anything like that. The occasional, there's occasionally like some birds flying over or something, but not a lot going on.
It doesn't seem like there's any evidence of traffic through here.
Make a nature check.
Nature. 2.
It's hard to tell. Like, it's windy up here, and any tracks that might have been around, even in the bit of snow that's still on the ground here, frozen, would have been blown away, it looks like. So you really can't tell.
Okay.
Would you all like to go in?
Slowly, I think, right?
Oh, definitely. Could be a bear.
Okay. In that case, could you all once again, because we're going into a new environment, could you all once again roll a stealth check?
10.
All right.
6.
Oof.
5.
Oh God.
Oh gosh. Roland got 25, and you got 14. Okay. All right. So, sneaking your way into this cave, you find that it stays fairly broad, 10, 12 feet wide in most places as you go through, and the same tall. And it kind of winds a little bit and goes slightly down. Sorry, where's my notebook? I actually put things in a physical notebook for once. There it is. First, going in about 50 feet, and then it takes kind of a turn. And you start to lose the light a bit. Most of you can see in the dark, I believe, right? But yes, as you get a bit further in, you do start to see let's see. Who has high perception? 18. What is your passive perception, everybody?
19.
15.
Mine's 16,
Mine's 15.
but I have that ring on.
Oh, that's well. That gives you disadvantage on checks, but if you were talking passive perception, that's not affected. So what is everybody's passive? Sorry, I haven't. I'm trying to figure it.
19.
You have a 19 for passive perception?
Passive wisdom perception.
Yeah. That's that. Wow. Okay. My guess is you're the highest.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. All right. Just gonna make sure I go through here, see what Roland's is. Yeah. Okay. So walking through, Zippel at some point past that kind of turn 50 feet in, as it kind of bears to the left a little bit, and you start to lose the light. You notice to the side a skull. Taking a look a little closer, you see it looks to be maybe a kobold skull, something like that. Just by the kind of, there's a short kind of truncated snout on it, and there's a couple of scattered bones around it. And then as you move a little bit further in, you also notice some cobwebs, kind of shreds of them hanging from the ceiling.
There's a beast in this cave. A spider. A giant spider. Please to note, here there is the skull, and there are the webbings. We must be very cautious. Using all of our inside voices, and to be aware of the ceilings.
All right. Would anybody... are we moving forward? Sorry, what was that?
I was gonna say, if everybody wants to hang back, I could do locate animals and all that stuff, and I could do 2 if you want. It takes more time. 1 for his suspicion of an arachnid, and the other to see how far we might be removed from anything of the Cobalt Dragon.
Okay.
But I'd have to do 2 of them.
Well, would you like to do that?
Is that okay with everybody else?
Yeah, I mean, like, one, what's the second one do?
Well, one I'm looking for an arachnid, you know, to check out if he's correct. The other is to see how far we are from, like, what I've already detected in here, Dragonkin, and how far removed we are from it. Could be right around the corner, or it could be further away.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know. Everybody else?
Yeah, it's up to you if you think, like, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Which one do you want to do first?
The arachnid one.
Okay. Okay, so you cast locate animals or plants. As your awareness once again spreads out, it doesn't go very far before you sense a rather large arachnid presence, maybe 30 feet from you.
Okay. Well, I quietly put out my arms and I kind of motion people to back up.
Can I ask, does it tell you, like, where it is? Like, up, down, side?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, direction and distance it tells. And
Tell
you
me
would,
it's not straight above.
it's not straight above, but it is, like, in its direction from you, it is slightly elevated.
Elevated, but in front of us?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I would try to wave people back.
All right.
I put some distance and then explain what I sense.
All right. Are the rest of you backing up with them?
Yeah. Let's back up real slow.
Yep.
Okay. In that case, you all back off a little bit. Let me see something. As you do, you hear kind of this scraping noise a little bit from just up the passage a little bit that seems to kind of keep distance with you.
Did it tell you what kind of spider it was? Did it tell you if it was maybe it could not stand bright light?
I don't think it goes into that much detail.
No.
Second level spell.
Yeah.
But okay. What if I was to cast light on one of my crossbow bolts and shoot it at where we think the spider is?
And where you think
That
it
would
is?
light us. That would shine a light on us first. I mean, I don't know if that
Oh,
matters, but
We need to see though.
And it's probably got blind sense or tremor sense or something.
Yeah, I want it. Yeah, we need to see. I think light's a good idea.
All right. In that case, you want to do it?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to do it.
and as he's doing that, I'm activating my belt.
Okay. That's a good idea. All right. So as you watch Zippel take out his small crossbow, load a bolt into it, and kind of put a hand over the head of the bolt, and as it starts to shine, you shoot it off.
Yep.
Towards the roof, about 30 feet, the roof of the cave, about 30 feet on, and as it sails forward, you suddenly see these kind of two faceted, almost gem-like lights show up in reflection, and as it shoots forward up into the ceiling, you see it sticks, and you see it's right in front of a huge spider, like probably like it's hard to get into. It's probably 6 feet wide in the body, and its legs kind of go out maybe 15 feet from it in some points, as they're kind of long and spindly, and it's watching you as its little like fangs, like things. I can't remember the word for it. Its little fangs kind of. Yeah, mandibles. Thank you. Kind of quiver, and that's where we're going to leave this week.
We found it.
Yay!
You found a very, very large spider. Okay.
All right.
Hooray!
So 2 weeks from now?
Yeah.
All right.
I just look. If that spider doesn't eat in 2 weeks, it's probably going to starve to death. So we don't have to worry about it.
Yes, wait it out.
Just wait it out. It'll be fine. All right.
All right.
Thanks, you guys. This was fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was fun.
Have fun, guys.
Bye.
Adios.